What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another video. In this video, we are going to be having some fun with Pro Football Focus. Now, before we get into the main part of the video, I do want to show you guys what I just got and what we can do and what you guys, if you guys want to see anything, you guys can let me know. But I just want to give you guys a quick overview of what I got. So basically, I told you guys yesterday I decided to become the expert and get the, the mock draft machine membership. That way we can do trades and stuff. And I thought that was really cool. But then I thought about it. I was like, I'm going to cancel that subscription after a month because what's the point? I mean, the draft's going to be over. That's pretty much the only reason to have it. So I decided, you know what, let's go get the Pro Football Focus Edge as well. That way we have some more stats to look at because I think this will help out when we compare draft prospects, when we compare, obviously NFL players, which we're going to be doing in this video. A lot of things we can do, but also I just learned there's even more than that. We can do all of these things that you guys see on the screen. Now, not this stuff. This is all, hold up, not this stuff. This is all fancy stuff, but we can do all of this stuff on the screen. Player grades, fantasy rank. I mean, I'm not a big fantasy guy, but I mean, you can do that. NFL draft big board. This one's kind of the coolest, the player grades, free agent rankings. There's a lot of different things. Season GM, which I'm pretty sure is like a fantasy thing. But this is the main thing right here, is this. Basically, there's three options, right? Featured teams, which I'm not sure what that is. But there's player grades, which we're going to be using in today's video, which I used to do this. And then we can also do this one called Choose a Matchup. Now, this is probably the coolest thing I've seen. I was not expecting to get this, but view all. I'm going to say custom matchup. So basically, you pick an away team and a home team. So we'll pick the Lions. And we'll pick some other team. Which team do we want to go against? Let's go against the Texans. All right, boom. You click go. It sets up the defense and offense, and then you can compare the teams based on their Pro Football Focus rating. Is this not awesome? Okay, I mean, I think this is gonna be really fun. This could be something during the season that we use to kind of compare, when everybody's got their rosters filled up. But you can see where the Lions have some holes. Atkins. That's not very good. They don't have Danny Shelton upgraded yet, so they don't have him. They don't have all the players on the right team yet. A few players they do, like Duron Harmon, as you can see, but they don't have all of them yet. So Danny Shelton's not there. We're still missing. I think Collins is not here either, so he would be in here instead of probably some of the other guys. Because Davis' grade is very bad, but it's pretty cool. There's just a lot of things you can make us here. Like, look at the entire roster. The lineup. We can change defenses, offenses. I mean, it's pretty crazy. So there's definitely a lot of things that we can mess around with, and I think you guys can definitely let me know what you guys want to see. But now let's step aside. Hey everybody, so now that we have looked at what we could possibly do with this and what we can mess around with on Pro Football Focus, and you guys can comment below what you guys want to see. Definitely during the season, we're going to have a lot of options. But now we're going to be comparing the players that we moved on from to the players that we brought in to see if we actually upgraded at any of these positions, at least according to Pro Football Focus. Now, there's definitely some factors that you have to take into account when we look at these grades. I will point those out as we go. I'll try my best, but let's just get this thing started. Let's start off with the cornerback position, the controversial, position. Now, I'm not going to get into this very much. I think Patricia can be successful here. I hope he is successful here. I'm not too mad about anything that went on. Darius Slay's gone. It stinks. Very good player. I wish him the best of luck, but really, let's just win some dang football games. Looking at the cornerback position, starting off with Darius Slay last season. Now, there is a very big thing to take into account here. He was the number one cornerback, and he followed a lot of good wide receivers, even in positions that he didn't want to be in, like the slot that he's not comfortable with. Well, kind of the slot. Not really the slot, but kind of the slot. And also, you have to keep in mind we didn't get a lot of pressure. But at the same time, we will compare Amani as well. Amani was the number 2, and he played at the end of the year. So it's definitely a little bit different. But what we have at Pro Football Focus, I got to just look at. So let's get this thing started. First off, as a whole, he was graded a 56.4. His defensive grade was a 56.4, which would land him in the below average category. 56.9 coverage, which again would land him in the below average category, and a 48.5 against the run, which would land him in the poor category. So definitely Pro Football Focus did not love Darius Slay last year at all. I didn't think he was that bad. Statistically, he wasn't that bad. If you look up stats, he was actually pretty solid last year. I think he is a really good cornerback. I think, the whole mess that was going on, it's just not a good situation, and something had to change. So I think it's to be better for him and better for us, honestly. I think it's better for both sides here that there was a change. He was a heck of a player, but it's better for both of us. We both needed to move. It was kind of like a nasty relationship. Something had to change, and it probably is going to be the best for both. And I think Slade may have a bounce back season, at least according to Pro Football Focus. And for the Lions, hopefully, now we're able to kind of all gel together, and this thing will work out. So obviously not graded very well. Now let's compare him to the man we brought in Desmond Trufant. Again, different situation there with the Falcons, so there's going to be a lot of factors that come into play. But just looking at the grades, he was given a 70.3 coverage grade, 70.3, which would land him in the very good category. So that's obviously a good thing. A 63.6 against the run, which would land him in the yellow average, just below the above average. But no, he's average there, and in 521 snaps, which is about 300 less snaps than what Slay had. So again, factors, there's a lot of factors to count for. Also, I thought I'd throw in Amani, who was graded a 71.4 overall, 75.3 passing, which is very good. Now again, didn't play in a lot of snaps, only 200 snaps, but at the same time, when he was in, he was very, very good. And against the run, only a 46. So not very good against the run, but definitely a good coverage guy. And True Fun, the thing that sticks out to me is that ability to stop the run. That's definitely something that the Lions may be looking for. We know we want corners that can tackle, so that's good. Now let's compare Big V to Rick Wagner. Okay, let's see what Pro Football Focus has to say about Big V and Rick Wagner. We'll start off with Rick Wagner, who last season graded as a, now again, keep in mind the factors here. Rick Wagner's worst season was last season. 2018 wasn't that bad. I know 2019 was the worst season. He could bounce back. We'll see if he does. But again, we just have to go on what we know. And, I'm just going off with last season. I'm not breaking down every season. If you guys want to see that, I can. If you want to see it on specific players. But here I'm just going over last season. And last season, Rick Wagner was given a 59 as an offensive player as a whole, a 60.2 against the pass as a pass blocker, and a 53.9 as a run blocker. So again, not very good. The pass blocking was definitely better than the run blocking in 753 snaps. Compare that to Big V, who was given a 74.4 overall. Now, a lot of that has to do with run blocking, but he still was given a 64.6 in the pass blocking, which is actually 4 points higher, which would land him in the good, just barely in the good category for pass blocking. So it's a little bit better than Rick Wagner last season. And his run blocking was given a 76.2, which would land him in the very good category. So that's awesome. In over 500 snaps. So again, yes, he was a backup, but he played in 541 snaps. I mean, what can you ask for from a backup tackle, right? Also, he was behind a tackle that graded like an 89 or something. And I was like, gosh, dang, I think that was Johnson. It was crazy. So yes, definitely an upgrade there. And so far, we're two for two. We got some upgrades so far. Now let's move on to the linebacker position. Now this one's kind of hard because they play different spots. So if you guys don't want to compare these, that's cool. I'm good with that. I did want to put in their numbers, but again, they're not the exact same position. Jamie Collins is going to play more as just a linebacker, not necessarily in the role of Devon Kennard. That's more just simply an edge rusher. They're definitely different players. Edge rushers, linebackers, different situations, different players. But I did put both of their stats here. You don't have to compare them, but I did put both their numbers. Jamie Collins is given a 72.3 as a defensive grade as a whole. 57.3 against the run, not very good. He was given, however, though, over a 70 grade against the pass, a 70.5 against the pass, which would land him in the good category, actually kind of in the very good category by a little bit there. So that's really good against the pass. We need guys that coverage against the pass. That's very good. But here's the thing that sticks out to me, and this is the thing I saw when I watched film. I told you guys he was a pure pass rusher, a guy that could find a way to the quarterback. He's given a 76.8 when it came to rushing the quarterback. 76.8, which would easily put him in the very good category. That's incredibly high in 800 snaps, 846 snaps. Now let's look at Devon Kennard. Again, you don't want to compare these, but I do have Devon Kennard. Still very solid last season. A 64.1, which actually isn't bad, puts him just in the good category, barely, but in the good category. A 71 against the run, which would put him in the very good category. When it comes to rushing, this is actually where his downfall was. It wasn't in coverage, actually. In coverage, even though he didn't drop back a lot, he was given a 68.8, not bad. It was the rushing, which was actually surprising. It was only a 58.3. So maybe the Lions kind of saw some there with the rushing, and that's why they moved, instead of maybe coverage, more of the rushing in 935 snaps. So that was kind of the weird thing. I wasn't really expecting that when I saw it. So again, if you compare those, that's an upgrade. But again, I'm not really going to compare those. Now let's move on to the defensive line. Now I really couldn't find Snacks Harrison's stuff. I don't know where Snacks Harrison's stuff is. I mean,
minutes later.
So now I do have Damon Harrison's stats pulled up. I just found it. I was looking at the wrong thing. My fault. Now let's compare who we released in Snacks Harrison, also Ashawn Robinson, to Nick Williams, who we brought in, and Danny Shelton, who we brought in. Let's start off with Snacks Harrison, who we released because we moved him first. He was given a 63.2 overall. Solid grade that actually lands him in just below, the good category, in the average category. 66.7 against the run, not awful. Definitely was a lot worse in 2018 where he was really good, which stinks. But that shows that how good he was really in 2018, that was such of a decline, because that still puts him in the good category. However, pass rush, not good, 55.2. We knew he wasn't getting us a lot of pressure. That's below average, not good there. Look at Ashawn Robinson, the other guy that we didn't bring back. He was given a 56 as a defensive player, a 60 against the run, and a 50.5 when it comes to rushing the the quarterback. So again, both these guys could not get a lot of pressure. They were okay against the run, but they just could not get pressure. The thing that's unfortunate is Ashawn was so much younger, he just never really lived up to that second round pick. Now let's look at Nick Williams and Danny Shelton. Nick Williams up first, who had a 67.7 as a defensive player, 67.8 against the run, so a little bit better than both of those guys. A 62.6 pass rush. We know he had 6 sacks. That's the best one we've seen so far, and 532 snaps, which is actually more snaps than Ashawn had, so if you're curious. Now let's look at Danny Shelton, who was given a 70 defensive grade. A 70 defensive grade, which puts him in the very good category, just by a little bit, very good category as a whole. He was given a 65.4 against the run, solid, and a 73.3 in the pass rush. Very good. That's very good where that would list him, so that's awesome to see. That's a really good thing. That's awesome to me. And again, over 500 snaps. So again, another upgrade there if you're going by these standards. So maybe the Lions were just looking at this. I don't know. I have no idea. Now let's move on to safety, where we traded for Duron Harmon. Now I want to compare him to the guys that we have because we didn't really move anybody. So I'm going to compare him to the guys that we have. Duron Harmon was given a 74.4 Pro Football Focus grade, 75.4 in coverage. 75. That's incredible. That's crazy good. That's very good. And he was also given a 65 against the run, which isn't bad. I mean, 65 against the run puts you in the good category. Compare that to Tracy Walker, who was very good as well last season. A 73.5 grade, 76 in coverage, and 64.4 against the run. Will Harris definitely struggled a little bit, but I'm going to cut him some slack. He was a rookie. 55.3, 55.4, and 58.1. I'm going to cut him some slack. I'm not even going to worry about that too much. He was a rookie. But yes, you can see pretty much everywhere it looks like, at least according to Pro Football Focus, we did get upgrades. So that's good to see. So if you're just going by this, then there you go. I just want to have some fun with this. Obviously, this isn't end all, like, oh, because Pro Football Focus says it, that means it's true. Like, yeah, there's so many factors that goes into it. There's a lot of different things, but I just wanted to do this for some fun, and that way you guys can let me know what you guys want to see now that we have this opportunity. Ooh, that was pretty good. Anyways, let me know your thoughts, comments below. Thank you for watching, and I'm out.